Foxhole's map is divided up into different maps or hexes. These hexes in turn are divided into region zones. Those region zones are controlled by the faction that has built a town base or relic base in that specific zone. They will show on the map as a green symbol and region for colonial controlled, blue symbol and region for warden controlled, and white symbol and region without color for destroyed bases. To win a war in Foxhole, a faction has to conquer and control a predetermined amount of victory points. Victory points are special town bases indicated on the map with the flag inside a circle icon, instead of the normal town base icon. Town bases come in 3 different models: a school, a post office, and a town hall model. Each built town base can have 3 different upgrade tiers: Tier 1, 2, and 3. Where each tier increases the damage resistance of the structure, and at Tier 3, the reinforced windows will start firing 20mm bullets at enemy vehicles. Relic bases also come in 3 different models: a small, a medium, and a large-sized one. The damage resistance of the relic base is always the same. Once it unlocks the large garrison, it too will fire 20mm ammo at enemy vehicles. Relic bases are world structures that act as home spawns, provide a stockpile for weapons and supplies, have reinforced windows that can automatically fire upon enemies, and can be occupied and used by infantry. They are indicated on the map by this icon. To capture a relic base that is in enemy hands, you first have to destroy the relic base itself. This will take a lot of explosive power. For the amount of explosive power needed, please refer to the structure health page on the wiki. Once the relic base is destroyed and you look on the map, you see that the icon is now white and the region zone lost its color, indicating it is now considered neutral. To rebuild the relic base for your faction, you need a construction vehicle and an extra 300 basic materials. A construction vehicle can be built near any home base. That is a town base, relic base, or border base. With 100 basic materials in your backpack, pull out your hammer by pressing 1 and open the build menu by pressing B. Navigate towards the base menu and hover over the CV icon. This will place a blueprint under your mouse cursor. If you hold down the right mouse button, you can rotate the blueprint. When it is facing the way you want, you simply press the left mouse button to place the blueprint, and then walk up to it and hold down the left mouse button to hammer in the necessary BMATs. Newly built CVs come with only a tiny bit of fuel, so to refuel your CV, grab a can of diesel, press tab to open your inventory, click on the diesel can so it goes from your backpack to your equipment, tab out, press 3 to equip the can, aim at the CV and hold down the left mouse button to refuel the CV. When it is refueled, put 300 BMATs into the CV's inventory and drive towards the relic base husk. When you are close to the husk, bring the CV into upgrade mode by pressing F. Aim at the relic base until you see the base information pop up in the middle of it, and in the bottom left press E to rebuild relic base. Press E, which turns the relic base into a blueprint, and then hold down the left mouse button to hammer in the BMATs. Once the relic base is rebuilt and you open the map, you can see that the icon is now the color of your faction, as is the region zone itself. If you press E to open the relic base menu, you can see that there are already supplies in the relic base's stockpile. This is 25% of the stockpile the enemy had there, in case you rebuilt an enemy-held relic base, or 100% of the friendly stockpile if you rebuilt a destroyed friendly relic base. Upon rebuilding an enemy base, soldier and maintenance supplies and uniforms that were in the stockpile are deleted though. In the right-hand panel, you see the base upgrades menu. Here you see that a relic base can unlock 4 different upgrades. The first is provisional garrison. This, once unlocked, will provide AI to defensive structures in a 150-meter radius around the relic base. If only provisional garrison is unlocked, the AI will only be active if 10 or more players have set their spawn at this relic base. The AI activation not only activates the surrounding defenses, the reinforced windows on the relic base itself are also activated by it. When AI is activated, they will fire small arms fire on enemy infantry and enemy vehicles. You can access these reinforced firing positions yourself as well, by coming close to them, the post marked with an X, and pressing Q to hop into them. When inside, you will be shielded from incoming fire, but not gas and heat, and are able to fire your weapons out of it. If the relic base gets destroyed while you are inside, you will die with it. The second upgrade is small garrison. This will permanently unlock the AI activation for all defensive structures around the relic base, even if the amount of players set spawns drops below 10. The third upgrade is large garrison. When this is unlocked, the reinforced windows in the relic base will start firing 20mm ammo at enemy vehicles. The fourth and last upgrade is the fortifications upgrade. Once this unlocks, defensive world structures like mortar houses and coastal guns in the relics region can be rebuilt. All these upgrades will unlock naturally over time, but can be dramatically sped up by having more players set their spawn there. Unlocking the upgrades will be slower in enemy starting territory than it is in friendly starting territory. Town bases are world structures that act as home spawns, provide a stockpile for weapons and supplies, have reinforced windows that can automatically fire upon enemies, and be occupied and used by infantry. They are indicated on the map by this icon, or, when they are a victory point, by this icon. Town bases tend to be surrounded by an array of different defensive town structures, like mortar houses, safe houses, and garrisoned houses, that may need destroying because they are in your way of getting to the town base. To capture a town base that is in enemy hands, you first have to destroy the town base itself. Town bases take a lot of explosive power to destroy as well, though here not only size but also tier plays a role. Once again, please refer to the structure health page on the wiki for the relevant numbers. When a town base is destroyed, it will display on the map as a white icon while the surrounding region zone loses its color. To rebuild the town base, you will need a CV and an extra 200 BMATs. Drive the CV to the town base and bring it into upgrade mode by pressing F. When you are close to the base, you will see the extra information pop up in the center of the base and a sentence in the bottom left saying, press E to rebuild town base. Press E to turn the town base husk into a blueprint and hold down the left mouse button to hammer in the necessary BMATs. When the building is done, press E to open its menu, where you see that there are a lot of supplies in the stockpile and that the upgrade level is the same as when it was destroyed. That is because this is a town base that already belonged to your faction before it was destroyed. Rebuilding it restored its stockpile and all unlocked upgrades it had before being destroyed. If you, however, rebuild a town base that belonged to the enemy, a quarter of the stockpile, minus the soldier, maintenance supplies, and uniforms, will be restored. All base upgrades in this instance will be reset to 0. In the base upgrade panel on the right, you can see that there are 2 upgrade paths, the base tree and the town tree. The base tree consists of 3 different upgrades. The first is Provisional Garrison. This, once unlocked, will provide AI for structures in a 150 meter radius around the town base. If only Provisional Garrison is unlocked, the AI will only be active if 10 or more players have set their spawn at this base. The AI activation not only activates the surrounding defenses, the reinforced windows on the town base itself are also activated by it. When AI is activated, they will fire small arms fire on enemy infantry and enemy vehicles within a 25 meter radius. You can also access these reinforced firing positions yourself by coming close to them and pressing Q to hop into them. When inside, you will be shielded from incoming fire, but not gas and heat, and are able to fire your weapons out of it. If the town base gets destroyed while you are inside, you will die with it. The second upgrade is Small Garrison. This will permanently unlock the AI activation for all defensive structures around the town base in a 150 meter radius, even if the amount of players set spawns drops below 10. It also allows the town base to be upgraded to Tier 2. To do this, you need a CV and 200 basic materials. Simply hop into the CV, press F to go into upgrade mode, aim at the town base, and press E to turn it into a blueprint. Hold down the left mouse button to hammer in the necessary BMATs. Once the town hall is upgraded, you can see that the windows change from this to this. The map icon also changed from this to this. With the town hall now Tier 2, it has increased resistance to damage. The third upgrade is the Large Garrison. Unlocking this will enable you to upgrade the Town Hall to Tier 3. For this, you'll also need a CV and 200 BMATs. Get into the CV and go into upgrade mode by pressing F. Aim at the town base and press E to turn it into a blueprint. Hold down the left mouse button to hammer in the BMATs until the Town Hall is upgraded. Once that is done, you can see that the windows turned from wood-covered windows to metal-covered windows. These reinforced windows will now fire 20mm ammo at enemy vehicles instead of small arms fire. The map icon will also have changed from this to this. With the Town Hall now Tier 3, it will have an even higher damage resistance. The Town upgrade tree also consists of 3 different upgrades. The first, Industry, once unlocked will allow you to rebuild the destroyed industry buildings in the region zone. Buildings like the construction yards, refineries, and storage depots. The second, Occupied Town, enables the rebuilding of garrisoned houses and safe houses in a radius of 150 meters around the town base. The third, Fortifications, allows for the rebuilding of mortar houses and coastal guns in the zone where the town base is in. World structures like seaports, storage depots, construction yards, refineries, factories, and mass production factories can only be rebuilt if the town base in that region has town industry unlocked. To rebuild these structures, you'll need a CV and 400 basic materials for each structure. With the BMATs in your CV, drive up to the structure and press F to bring the CV into upgrade mode. Press E to turn it into a blueprint, and then hold down the left mouse button to hammer in the necessary basic materials. When rebuilding a storage depot or seaport that was owned by your faction prior to destruction, it will have all contents of the stockpile restored. If the seaport or storage depot belong to the enemy, only a quarter of the stockpile's content will be restored, with the exception of soldier supplies, which will all be deleted. If the stationary crane that is situated next to a building like a storage depot or construction yard is destroyed as well, you will need another 100 BMATs to rebuild this. The procedure is the same. Put the CV into upgrade mode, aim at the crane, press E to turn it into a blueprint, and hold down the left mouse button to hammer in the needed BMATs. Safe houses are world structures that can act as forward bases and that are indicated by this icon on the map. They come with their own stockpile for weapons and supplies, just like a town base, and act as a forward spawn point. Safe houses also remove the rapid decay zone in a radius of 50 meters around them. Once destroyed, they can only be rebuilt if the town base in the region has the occupied town upgrade unlocked and the safe house is within 150 meters of that town base. If the safe house is outside a 150 meter radius, it needs to be within 100 meters of another built safe house with provisional garrison unlocked and 10 player spawns, or with small garrison unlocked. To rebuild it, you will need a construction vehicle and 250 basic materials. Drive the CV towards the safe house, bring it into upgrade mode by pressing F, aim at the safe house, and press E to turn it into a blueprint. Then hold down the left mouse button to hammer in the needed BMATs. When it is rebuilt and you open its menu by pressing E, you can see that in the base upgrade panel there are two upgrade trees available for the safe house, the base tree and the garrison station tree. The base tree, like most base trees, consists of 3 upgrades. The first is provisional garrison. This, once unlocked, will provide AI for structures in a 100 meter radius around the safe house, and allows for the building of other safe houses and garrisoned houses in that same radius. If only provisional garrison is unlocked, the AI will only be active if 10 or more players have set their spawn at this safe house. This is also true for the ability to rebuild other safe houses. The second upgrade is small garrison. This will permanently unlock the AI activation for all defensive structures around the safe house and its ability to rebuild safe houses and garrisoned houses in its 100 meter radius, even if the amount of player set spawns drops below 10. This also allows for the safe house to be upgraded to Tier 2, but only if the town base in the region itself is also Tier 2 or 3. For this, you will need a CV and 150 basic materials. Once upgraded to Tier 2, the windows of the safe house will have turned from cloth-covered to wood-covered. This safe house now also has increased resistance to different damage types. The third upgrade is large garrison. Unlocking this will enable you to upgrade the safe house to Tier 3, but only if the town base in the region itself is also Tier 3. For this, you'll need a CV and 150 BMATs. Once upgraded to Tier 3, the windows of the safe house will have turned from wood-covered to metal-covered. This also increased the damage resistance of the safe house more. The Garrison Station tree has 2 upgrades. The first one is the radio station upgrade. When this is unlocked, the safe house will automatically get the ability to gather intelligence in a 100 meter radius around it. The model will also be automatically updated with a little radio station inside and a radio antenna on the outside. The second upgrade is the artillery shelter upgrade. This will make it so that damage done to the outside of the building can only bring the health of the safe house down to 30%. To deplete the remaining 30% and destroy the safe house, damage needs to be done to the artillery shelter on the inside of the safe house. Towns that have multiple safe houses in them need to daisy chain their rebuilds. So you first rebuild the safe house that is within a 150 meter radius of the region's town base that has the occupied town upgrade. Once the first safe house is rebuilt, that safe house needs to unlock at least provisional garrison and have 10 spawns before the next safe house in the chain can be rebuilt. Keep rebuilding and upgrading safe houses until you reach the end of the safe house chain. Garrisoned houses are defensive world structures that can be found around towns in many different varieties. They can look like houses and churches, train stations or pubs, barns or factories. To check if a building in town is a garrisoned house, you can simply equip your hammer and press F to go into upgrade mode. If you aim at the structure and it displays extra information in its center, and is not any of the other world structures like a safe house, it will be a garrisoned house. Garrisoned houses that are scorched cannot be rebuilt at all. You can easily check if the husk of a garrisoned house is scorched. With your hammer out and in upgrade mode, if you aim at the husk and press E, it will say, "This structure is scorched and cannot be rebuilt." The scorching of garrisoned houses happens when too much artillery damage is dealt to the surrounding area. This is indicated by the ground turning to a soil texture and the removal of grass, bushes, and trees. You can rebuild a garrisoned house when it is in a region where the town base has the occupied town upgrade unlocked and that garrisoned houses within a 150 meter radius of a town base with at least provisional garrison unlocked and 10 active player spawns, or within a 100 meter radius of a safe house that has at least provisional garrison unlocked and 10 active player spawns. To rebuild it, you'll need a CV and 150 basic materials. Drive the CV towards the garrisoned house, press F to go into upgrade mode and aim at the garrisoned house. Press E to turn it into a blueprint and hold down the left mouse button to hammer in the necessary BMATs. Once a garrisoned house is rebuilt, it will act as an active defense and engage any enemy vehicle or player with small arms fire within a 25 meter range. Garrisoned houses can also be upgraded. To be able to upgrade a garrisoned house to tier 2, it needs to be in a 150 meter radius of a tier 2 town base or a 100 meter radius of a tier 2 safe house. To upgrade it, you'll need a CV and 150 BMATs. Once you have upgraded a garrisoned house to tier 2, the windows will be covered by wood instead of cloth. This will also increase the damage resistance of the garrisoned house. To upgrade a garrisoned house to tier 3, it needs to be in a 150 meter radius of a tier 3 town base or a 100 meter radius of a tier 3 safe house. To upgrade it to tier 3, you'll need a CV and 150 BMATs. Once it is upgraded to tier 3, it will have metal-covered windows instead of wood-covered windows, and it will start firing 20mm ammunition at enemy vehicles instead of small arms fire. This will also increase the damage resistance of the garrisoned house. Rebuilding a garrisoned house that belonged to your faction before it was destroyed will be rebuilt as the same tier it was before destruction. Emplacement houses are special world structures that have an emplaced mortar on the top of their roof. This is a special type of mortar that allows for simple click and fire with no need to dial in distance and that is not affected by wind. Emplacement houses can be rebuilt if the town base or relic base in its region is controlled by your faction and has the fortified town upgrade unlocked. You will need a CV and 200 BMATs to rebuild the emplacement house. Drive the CV towards the emplacement house, press F to go into upgrade mode, aim at the house and press E to turn it into a blueprint. Hold down the left mouse button to hammer in the needed BMATs. Once the emplacement house is rebuilt, you can access the mortar by walking to the ladder and pressing spacebar to grab the ladder, holding W to climb up the ladder, and once you are on top of the roof, you can press E to open the inventory of the mortar, where you can see that you can store 50 shells of each type. Simply left-click the shells in your inventory to transfer them into the inventory of the mortar. To use the mortar, press Q to hop onto the mortar seat. In the top left, you can see which shell type you have selected, and if you press R, you will load a shell into the mortar. If you press F, you can change the shell type to be loaded into the mortar, and if you now press R again, you will unload the old shell type and load in the new shell type. Hold down the right mouse button to aim the mortar and simply left-click to fire at where you were aiming. Coastal guns are special defensive world structures that, when built, will fire upon any enemy small ship or amphibious vehicle within a 200 meter radius. When these come within 150 meter of the coastal gun, it will start firing with a deadly precision. The coastal gun is indicated on the map by this symbol. To be able to rebuild it, the town base or relic base in its region needs to be controlled by your faction and have the fortified town upgrade unlocked. You will need a CV and 200 basic materials to rebuild it. Drive the CV to the coastal gun, press F to bring it into upgrade mode, aim at the gun and press E to turn it into a blueprint. Hold down the left mouse button to hammer in the BMATs until the coastal gun is rebuilt. As per usual, a big hearty thank you to Crowd9er for checking things. Without whose help, this video would have come out way earlier, but would have also contained way more errors.